What is going on, guys? This is the Gainz Podcast, the swollest, biggest, newest Gainz Podcast that you'll ever listen to in your lifetime. This is Antoine, and this is
Roman.
And we're coming at you in the 21st episode, not the 21st century, but the 21st episode. A nice, exciting one. This came from one of the coworkers of ours, so shout out to the coworker that asked this question, because this is something that we briefly went over in, I think, episode 16. Was it?
Yeah.
I think I
that
wrote
was
it.
the meal prep one. And then also we've covered nutrition basics too. We're kind of putting it together. It's a little bit more nuanced today.
Episode 16, food prep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I put it in the notes.
Yeah. So today we're covering strategies for eating at work.
Oh yeah, I didn't even get to the title of the. All right. Well, there's like the title, strategies for eating at work. But if you don't, I mean, this could be an office employee. You could be currently working in a restaurant. You could be working at a gym where people bring pizza and Tootsie Rolls to the gym. If you know what that gym is, just throw it in the comments. I'm not going to hate on any name brand, but there are gyms that order pizzas. But any workplace, if you work in construction, whatever workplace you're in, there's a time and place where if this doesn't correlate to you, if it does, where pretty much people bring in food, cater snacks, cater breakfast, bring in stuff, coworkers bringing in food, coworkers baking stuff, whatever the case may be. Pretty much,
events.
Yeah, pretty much like the stuff that like is, I guess, that special treatment / like special occasion food, where when you come in the office and you don't expect it, like these are the strategies that we would go by. I have a bunch of like questions to like I guess ask yourself / like what to think about when it comes to those occasions, and then Roman's going to pyramid scheme and tell you the tips and tricks for $9.99 per month. He won't give you the full secret on how to strategize. But if
Call now.
But for $9.99, you could easily.
People are gonna be like, I don't want to listen to this shit, you know.
Yeah. So
we actually have some tips for you.
Honestly, I would skip my part completely and go right to Roman's, because that's the money making faction, and what he has is way more important. No, but awesome. So, any update you wanna? Do you wanna? We haven't. I feel like we haven't done an update in a while.
We haven't.
Do you want to do an update real quick?
Sure.
And how's everything going for you and everything?
Yeah, let's do it. So
even though a lot of people don't like when we do this.
Oh really?
Remember what you said?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Just
Some
do a quick
people don't
one.
like
Do a quick one. If you don't want to hear the update, skip about 2 minutes from now.
Yeah. So training's going really well. Body weight is still on a high, but it's...
Dude, he's 200 pounds now.
Yeah, not quite, folks. My high is 168.6. So I've almost hit 170. I've been averaging about 168 recently. I have to go back and like average my... I've been really bad this year. I need to go back and average my calories and like my weekly intake and whatnot. I think I might have to bump up calories a little bit again. I'll probably only do it like 100 calories, but I was talking to another coworker of ours today, and I probably average between 3,000 and 3,500. So it fluctuates a decent amount. The plan was to stay between 3,080 to 3,330, but I've definitely like eating a little bit more than that, because I'm like, whatever. The whole point of this is to gain muscle.
You gotta love those times.
Yeah. It's been
when
awesome.
You're dieting, it's like the total opposite.
Yeah,
I probably shouldn't be eating anymore.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. So that's why like I'm pretty liberal with myself for that. It will be exciting to like actually like diet, because last time I dieted back in 2011 was not good. I lost 28 pounds in 3 months. It was really bad. Really, really
23?
I lost 28 pounds.
In 3 months.
In 3 months.
Was that 7?
I was
that's
at,
more than
my,
7 pounds
I was
a
at
month.
my high, but I wasn't lifting a lot like I was. It was my first semester in college.
Wow.
And, oh man, we're getting off the topic a little bit. I'll go
Yeah.
really quick. I was 150, I reached 158, so I gained 8 pounds in my first semester, like, really unhappy, like, a lot of stuff going on in my life, to, like, combat that and to, like, try and, like, get back with, like, my ex or whatever I was trying to do, whatever my, like, messed up mind was thinking at the time. I would run, like, twice a day. I would lift, like, at least once a day. And I was eating, but I was just, like, I was moving so much, just, like, always, like, active, like, waking up at 4, going into the gym as soon as it opened on campus. I lost 28 pounds in 3 months, so don't follow.
That's crazy.
Don't follow me, folks.
That's more than 7 pounds a month.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, it's actually more than 8. It's, like, almost 9.
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually, 9, 18,
Yeah.
27.
Almost 10 pounds a month, and I was only 158 pounds, man.
That's nuts.
Yeah, crazy. Anyways, so training is going great.
Training's going well,
folks.
yeah.
I've hit some all-time PRs in bench. Hit 225 by 5. That was awesome.
That's crazy. I like
bench is insane.
I like that. Yeah.
The chest is like really filling out too. So I can definitely see that like there's like a strong like correlation between like the size of my chest and like the growth of my bench. So that's been really cool because I do have some like physique goals in mind as well. Deadlift is going okay. I hit 290 by 5 this weekend, so that's like, it's not like a PR by any means. I guess for like this block it is, but I also wasn't really trying to go for it. It just like made sense for like the progression I have. And then
you're almost benching more than you deadlift.
Coming up on it, it's crazy. My squats, I hit 290 by 5 for 3 sets this weekend, which was insane. Still pretty good depth. I got some footage of it, so I'm very happy about that. I'm noticing the lats are starting to like fill out a little bit more. My frame is a little wider. I'm starting to get like a better mind muscle connection with my lateral delts. Those are starting to fill out a little bit more, so when they're pumped up, it like helps with like the wideness of my frame. I can do a whole lot more volume with my legs, but I'm much more focused on like strength, and whenever I get that like that tenderness, soreness in my back, I back off a little bit. But schedule's been like a little like erratic recently with like certain things, so it's hard to dedicate the amount of time that I want to for legs, or I'm just like not like up to it. But because like the strength gains are coming along so much, I've been willing to make those sacrifices. So overall, everything's going really well.
That's good.
Yeah.
And I mean, the update for me, besides, I mean, I ran into some lower back issues again. But I mean, everything feels fine now. Just taking it easy. So I'm hoping within like this full month of just taking it easy, probably just after because I'm getting married already in 25 days. So, I hate updating people because it's been just, I just been pretty lean at 192 to 194. I mean, hypertrophy is going up, but like strength stuff's not really even getting touched right now. Yeah. I mean, I'm still benching regularly, like with the shoulder repairing. Like I hit a PR this year of 185 by 8.
Oh, yeah.
So I haven't hit 185 by 8 in forever, but I'm slowly getting there. And I can't wait to get to the 200s by 8 because that's going to be crazy because I haven't touched that in probably like 5-6 months.
Yeah, okay.
So that's going to be nice. Deadlifts, Roman and I talked about it and discussed even with Sam. I'm probably going to try out like a different stance. I'll probably stop doing conventional for a while just to see if changing the movement pattern will help itself with the back issue. So I did sumo for 135 this weekend, I think, or was it last week during the week? Felt really good. So we'll and then squat, just taking it easy. I think I did 135 this week or 145 this week. So I probably won't say too much more. Besides, just wash your hands out there, guys. Coronavirus seems it's getting more important, more and more, or could be a big marketing scheme. I don't know.
You're testing out some different movements too, though, and seeing how they work for you. So that's a huge benefit of this.
Yeah, and no, I'm excited because I haven't sumoed in a while, and sumo has been challenging when it comes to like getting to the upright position. So I can't wait to see like how that improves. Because I mean, I like I told you guys before, I'm already pretty strong in deadlifting when my back's healed. So like I don't really seem like it's gonna be a problem. It's just the squatting part. I want to make sure my back's like fully recovered before I put any type of heavy load on my back. But we'll get right to it, guys. We're getting back on track, which is always good for those people. So strategies for eating at work. So pretty much I put together some questions, kind of like what Roman did on the last one or the second one, kind of like just asking yourself some things. Like obviously you don't run through this. You don't like sit there and just like take 10 minutes before you decide that you want to eat something at work. Like, you don't want to make all decisions like that, because it's like, it's not that, I mean, it's important, but like not too important.
Yeah.
Where you could kind of like get to these questions, write them down if you want to, obviously take a pen out while listening to us with like the tips and tricks as well as like the questions I put down, and then kind of go over those. And then like if it seems true and right, then go for it. If not, then don't go for it. Maybe another time.
Yeah. Save
it for another time. So I already went over the what is it. So like the catering, the social gatherings, the office, the snacks, all that good stuff.
Even vending machines.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
a time and place for it too.
A lot of places have vending machines, or even like if you go to a common like train station, all that good stuff. So, and Roman's probably gonna say this too, because I already looked at the notes before we started this. Like, what goals do you have? Just make sure if you're cutting, you're bulking, those are gonna take a big part in if you're willing to take that risk. I did note the IDGAF method instead of the bulking method. If you want to look that up, look it up on your own. Go to Urban Dictionary, look up IDGAF. I'll just not say it on the podcast because we try to keep it somewhat PG here.
What's it called? YOLOing?
Yeah, YOLOing would be a good term to the IDGAF. Do you want to eat that food? That's another thing. Like, will it satisfy those goals? If not, I mean, like we talked about the food prep and whatnot. Eating outside your prep and all that good stuff could be a good and bad idea. I'll probably go over it in another question, but like, if you're catering food, if someone's bringing food, someone's cooking for the food, do you know exactly what's in it? So depending on what you're at in your stage, if you're cutting, bulking, like Roman when he mentioned with the calories, like if he goes over 100 calories, is it going to really matter? It may or may not. I mean, if it does matter that much, like Roman doesn't, at that point, he's trying to build strength. So he's going to just be like, well, if I want to take an extra bite to satisfy my hunger and I feel pretty hungry, then why not? But if you're like cutting or trying to lose weight, then it might not be a good idea at that point in time. Or what you could do is, what I like to do is sometimes like if I know if I'm going out to eat or if I know exactly what I'm going to eat for dinner, I'll pre-record those things in my food logs. I'm currently using FitGenie. Roman uses MyFitnessPal. I used MyFitnessPal for years before moving over to FitGenie. It's just on preference on what you want to use for the recording logs. But if I knew I was going out to dinner and there was going to be food at work, I would either shy away from it or I would just note those macros for the later time. Like if I know if I'm going out to dinner and it's a place I've been to and I know I can pretty much eyeball the macros, I will input those in for like the dinner section and then just eat around that. And like that I've done that for a whole bunch of times, and that's such a good idea. And I learned it from Max Tuning such a long time ago. If you guys know him, don't know him, I don't even think you know him. No, he's more of a flexible dieter / if it fits your macros. Yeah. So if you currently know what you're going to get yourself into later, then maybe eating those office snacks or the food is fine. Another thing I want to hit on is like when I was competing for bodybuilding in 2016 for those 2 shows, I didn't eat anything from the office. Like maybe I would just drink the Diet Cokes, but if you're competing for a bodybuilding show, I mean, a lot of people will tell you different things. I mean, you could still be flexible. Like, obviously, if you're going on a vacation, don't try to, like, shy away from, like, eating out.
Yeah.
But like, most of the time, you don't exactly know what's in there. Obviously, you can be above or lower, and you'll be fine. On a tip like that, in my opinion, I always record high. So, like, say if you're Chicagoan, and since we're in Chicago, if you go to Portillo's, you get an Italian beef. You see an Italian beef on MyFitnessPal or Fit Genie, you record, okay. But, I mean, they're not going to give you probably the same portion every time. So maybe you want to add in, like, maybe 10 more grams of carbs, maybe 10 to 15 grams more fat. Cool. You add that in there, you're probably way above what you recorded, but that's fine. Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to lose weight, the whole thing is to be in a deficit. So maybe make that tip. I probably jumped around a little bit. And then before all this, do you have the understanding of macros and calories to, like, eat free-spiritedly? Meaning, like, kind of what I was saying earlier, like, what Roman mentioned, like, he was going to try, like, you're trying to do, you have a food scale yet or no?
No.
So what he was trying to do is, you know, like, what I suggested is buy a food scale, record for, like, a year straight or a couple months, and then, like, maybe you could start eyeballing things which would help you kind of eat freely and be able to record off that.
Still put things in, like, 1 cup containers and whatnot.
Do you really?
Or I'll, depending on the cereal that we get for, like, quick carbs, I'll do, like, so, like, right now we have, like, Nature's Promise, like, oats. Yeah. So I'll measure out, like, 2 1/3 cups, and I'll, like, put it in.
Be careful with that, folks, because sometimes the weight in the cup containers could be a little off.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, like when I was showing Sam one time, because Sam used to do that all the time too, what Rome was saying. And when I was, I'd cook her oats for whatever, and the serving size, I know for oats for sure, is 40 grams, which is, I think, is a 1/3 cup. Yeah. Or half a cup. Half cup. Yeah, half cup. And I simply just did it one time, and I was like, okay, obviously I didn't level it perfectly, but I poured it in there and I showed her, and it was like over 40. It was like almost 50 grams. So like eyeballing can work in like so much, but it can't. Yeah. Because like if you do something like that and like you're over 10 grams, every 10 grams that keeps adding up or keeps exactly. So after you answer like the goals, you're knowledgeable with like scaling and understanding the weights of food, and you can record. Or if you're planning something for later in the day and you already know what you're going to eat, like every Tuesday, Sam and I make tacos. So I know I usually eat about 9 to 10 ounces of ground beef, corn tortillas, half a cup of refried beans, all that good stuff. I'll record it, and if there's food at work, I'll still eat it. Yeah. But that's in a perfect world, and
if you are interested in learning more about like what like a macro is and like some like micro like talk, we have a prior podcast about that too. So I think that's episode 5.
Yeah, that was one of the earliest ones. Yeah, and so like I don't want to take too much time because Roman still has to talk, but like just think about the goals, understanding the macros, the micros, and then will it satisfy you, and as well as plan ahead. Or if you're someone like Roman, who have a lot of allergies, like when it comes to like food nature, I put Roman allergies as like maybe him talk about this, but like be sure to honestly, like Roman does a really good job, but I feel a lot of people don't. Like if you have like any like GI issues, like allergies towards like gluten or like peanut allergies, in my opinion, your best bet is what Roman does is pretty much bring food every day. Yeah. And make it safe than sorry, because you never know what's in that food. Yeah. Or what they touched it with prepared. Because I've worked in the restaurant business, Roman has. It's not always 100% the best place, but true. I was going to say, I'm going to let you talk because I feel like I've talked a lot already. So. No, that's
a really great point, and I'll expand a little bit on the allergy standpoint. So you don't have to do what I do unless you do have like very severe allergies, then like it might make sense to bring your own food. But some things I've done in the past, like I'll still go and get Chipotle like every once in a while. Yeah. I'll talk to the chef. I'll talk to who's working like the front there. Sometimes I'll even like call up like the corporate office and I'll say like, hi, like I have food allergies, explain the situation, and they're usually more than like happy to kind of explain like as much as they can without giving away like any proprietary secrets or anything. But if that's the case, it might help to try and find places within your local area, and you probably have already done this, but if you've moved, it might benefit you to try and find some places. If like you have peanut and tree nut allergies like I do, or if you have a gluten allergy, maybe looking up like gluten-free like bakeries or gluten-free restaurants, for example. So those types of things.
Did you mention carb allergy for those keto folks out there?
Yes, if you have a carb allergy.
All right, I'm sorry. I had to throw it in there. I had to throw you off for a second. You're like, wait, Dave's not going to say something serious right there?
What the hell? So, mainly the tips and tricks I have for you folks are geared towards individuals that are looking to like mostly like lose weight or like kind of control their weight. So not necessarily gain. I have a brief note about that, but we've covered it fairly extensively in other podcasts. And also, if you're interested in that, I've been meaning to do this for like 3 months now, but I, at some point in the near future, hopefully we'll have a more detailed view of like what my like diet or nutrition plan looks like, what my goals are, and I'll outline it and give you some like qualitative and quantitative information that you can kind of base your own.
Since you do, sorry to interrupt, you do pretty much like cook your own food, I wonder, like, I've just thought about this right now. I wonder if you would be willing to, like, just snap pictures and, like, give, like, macros of your meals throughout the day on like, our story. Yeah. Or even just save the story and just make it a post. Yeah. Because like I said, most of my meals, sometimes they're, like I grab snacks or, like, processed food all the time, most of the time, because I don't eat 100%, like, fresh. Like I would like to, because it's just more time consuming. But Roman does a good job with like macros and all that, and like I would just like, because yours is already like pre-made, or like in the morning you do that yourself, or at night. Yeah. I would like to see it too, because I've never seen it, because I only see you during like the work day. But okay, but go on.
It'll cause me. It'll put more onus on me to be more like accurate too, because sometimes I do like YOLO it, where I'm like, my mindset is like, as long as I'm like, if at least I'm like underestimating, then I'm making sure like I'm still like fulfilling those like caloric needs type deal, etc. No, it sounds like a good idea.
I keep interrupting Roman.
We got another development coming for you soon, folks. Stay tuned. So let me jump down to my tips. So like I said, this is mainly for like fat loss or just like maintenance of your weight. If you're like, hey, I noticed I like gained a couple pounds. Like I don't necessarily need to lose any. I just don't want to gain anymore. Hopefully these, or if you want to lose weight, preferably like fat mass. Some of the numbers I'm going to give are, the caveat is you need to lift weights, folks. So we do encourage you to get into the gym. And if you have any questions about that, always feel free to reach out to us. So the first tip is trying to define what a serving size looks like. As a general rule of thumb, unless you are like Andre the Giant, you can use the palm of your hand for that. So an example is there's pizza at work and you want some, but you also have the goal of fat loss in mind. What's the serving? So you ask yourself, how much fits in the palm of my hand? Most likely a single slice. So you can have a single slice. Snacking does not count.
Single palm worth of trail mix? Hell yeah!
Well, if it's as much as like a handful, then it probably would be like, it probably would be about 2/3 of a cup. And if that's the case, the trail mix that I eat now is 230 calories. So for like a part of a snack, not too bad. I'm gonna cover what a snack looks like and what a meal looks like in just a moment for like a healthful or nutritious eating. So you got yourself pizza. But you want to ensure that the meal is nutritious as well as filling, because, man, one slice of pizza ain't going to fill me up.
It hasn't ever filled me up.
So
that's just like a big old slice of pizza.
I tried 3 slices of pizza last night, folks. I think I had like a cup of broccoli. What else did I have? I had 2 cups of chicken fried rice and a bowl of cereal. I think that was my dinner last night.
Gosh, damn.
Man, I gotta get on them gains, buddy. So ask yourself if they're greens, you can pair this with, how about any fruit? An important note are if you do have a salad, and you're going to have that with the pizza, dressings can be very highly calorically dense. I think for 2 tablespoons of blue cheese dressing, it's like 110 calories, I think. No, maybe it's 210 calories.
Yeah.
210 calories, I think, for 2 tablespoons.
Honestly, just stick to light dressings or like balsamic vinegar. Balsamic vinegar is really good, or like a red wine vinegar.
I mentioned like a drizzle of olive oil and like some red wine vinaigrette or a balsamic vinaigrette. That'll do the trick, folks. Number 2 test is the palatability test, or the yummy test is what I like to refer to it as. So, basic question, how palatable or yummy are the foods at work? If they are highly palatable, where you have like the notion of getting another. How about just grabbing one? So like in that case, like muffins or cupcakes, unless you're gonna bring one maybe for like a loved one or something like that. Maybe store one for later. But no, it is an important question to ask. Usually there's like different cooking tricks that you can use to make foods like highly palatable, but they'll also technically be calorically dense. So it's just something to be aware of, not something to avoid, because life's pleasures are something that I think that we should take advantage of.
Because YOLO.
So, want to note, there's nothing wrong with grabbing one. It's important to understand the role that palatability plays in our desire to have more of something. Question or tip 3 is to ask yourself what options you have. Is salad an option? Is there grab-and-go fruit option? Can you take a serving of veggies with that meat or protein? That'll help you feel a little bit more satiated or full. That's what satiated means. Number 4 is ask how much protein is in this meal. Protein is a highly satiating macro, meaning that helps fill you up. Generally, I would recommend a 20 to 40 gram serving of protein, which is helpful in maintaining and building lean, strong muscle mass. So 20 to 40 grams would look like...
How many pizza slices is that? Like 4 or 5?
It's like 4 slices of pizza, I think.
Pretty cool.
I think your average slice of non-whole wheat cheese pizza is 6 grams of protein, I think. Yeah.
I like those numbers.
Yeah. It's crazy, right? So you would have to do a little bit of research to know what 20 to 40 grams would look like. So if it was steak, a 4-ounce serving of steak, depending on the cut, is anywhere between like 17 to 24 grams of protein, I think. 4 gram like serving a steak would probably be about like 3/4 of an inch thick and just smaller than the palm of your hand. So once again, that's where the serving size comes from there, folks. So protein is very important to have with a meal, and I'll differentiate that from a snack in a moment. Number 5 is asking yourself what you'll gain from this meal, what you can miss out. You should notice that the answer most likely isn't always abstain from eating, because sooner or later your mental fortitude might break, and that could cause you to have feelings or sensations to binge on certain food items. And enjoying a treat every now and then is important because life is meant to be enjoyed. We cover that. Number 6, look at the different sizing of plates. So there's been some research that shows that smaller plates that are fuller as opposed to larger plates that are less full in appearance than the small plate. It could be the same exact amount of food. The smaller plate that appears to be more full is more satiating, more filling for people. Number 7, you want to ask yourself what a healthful and nutritious meal looks like. So for a meal, you want to try and get 3 to 4 of the following categories in each meal. And for a snack, you want to try and get, 2 to 3 of these categories for a snack. So the categories are protein, dairy, vegetable, fruit, and grain. Now, there's a lot of caveats there because if you have certain intolerances to lactose, for example, you might have to have something like an A1 milk that has lactase enzyme in the milk already, or you might carry lactate pills with you. So obviously take your food sensitivities, food sensitivities and food allergies into consideration. or food intolerances, I should say, not food sensitivities. Protein, that doesn't necessarily mean meat. It could be beans, even though beans, the prime majority macronutrient is going to be carbohydrates. Yeah. It can serve as a protein source if it's adequate enough, if it meets that 20 to 40 grams per serving. For beans, that's a lot of beans. That might be like 2 cups of beans. So it might be important for you if you're like a lacto-ovo vegetarian, for example. Maybe get some cheese in there as well to help kind of bolster that. That way you have both the protein and the dairy taken care of. So a lot of considerations there. Meals, I got this off of Sports Nutrition book by Nancy Clark. I think it's the 3rd edition. I'm currently reading it. You can also learn more about what a healthful plate looks like by going, you can just essentially Google My Plate, but I think it's also on myplate.gov. I think it's the FDA's most recent recommendation. It started back in 2009, 2010. It gives great guidelines, folks. It's not the end-all, be-all. It's not a perfect plan, but it does help with crafting recommendations for a healthful meal. And then number 8, if possible, select foods that fill the rainbow effect or Roy G. Biv. So I gave some examples here for you. So looking at red, we're talking about peppers, tomatoes, apples. Orange, we're talking about carrots, peppers, squash. Yellow, bananas, peppers, mangoes. Green, apples, lettuce, spinach, kale, collards, kiwis. Blue, indigo, violet, we're talking blueberries, blackberries, radish, beets. Those are foods that are going to make sure we feel nice and full. They do have that yummy effect, and a lot of micronutrients. Last but not least, number 9, try to get 3 to 5 servings of both fruits and vegetables per day. That's pretty much what I have for if you're trying to lose weight, gain weight. I'll go over real quick. Do you have time?
And you could buy Roman's nutritional book for kids, The Yummy Effect.
The Yummy Effect. I should write a book on that. It's really funny.
I think I just made you a millionaire, but I'm not going to take credit for it.
So there's 9 tips for you, folks. Hopefully those help. Take them into your everyday, day-to-day, and let us know if they help you achieve your goal.
Sweet. Well, yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Wow, another, I feel like this episodes fly by sometimes. Holy cow. But thanks for watching again. Remember, as always, tell your dogs, tell your cats, tell your birds, and then tell the squirrels that you see on the way to work about this podcast, because we really appreciate them listening as well.
The cockroaches, they need to know.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.